I wake up before everyone in my house wakes up. No, I'm having to sacrifice my sleep. But on the back end of it, it gives me more peace. So I have to get up, I do my devotion. I do my praise and worship. I take my first 2 hours of my day, just me, before I'm able to pour into anybody else. I gotta be able to pour into myself. So that's what working out. All of those things that fuel me, if that means dancing or whatever the things that I love to do, I do that first thing in the morning. And then I do my power hour. My power hour, I don't know if you've seen it online. I normally go live my power hour to help people. And I'm literally just on there doing my work. I just do nothing but income generating activities for 1 hour in the morning from 6 to 7 o'clock. So that no matter what else happens, I know, right? Because if I wait later, the kids will be up.
And you're distracted.
Yes, I'll be distracted, and then I won't be present for them. Because when they wake up, they're expecting me to be mommy. They don't care about any of that other stuff. You say you gotta work, they could care less about that, right? They want you to listen to them as they sing, as they dance, as they put their clothes on, all those things. So I am very intentional about me waking up sometimes 4:30 in the morning so that I can I'm definitely up by 5. 5 to 7 is my time. My kids know if they wake up early, there is no, you can come and wave to mommy, you can say good morning to mommy, but there is no, that's my time. The first 2 hours of the day.
Are you an entrepreneur and a mother? Are you raising your children or grandchildren? Well, today we are discussing motherhood and entrepreneurship and the challenges that women face raising children and running a business. We have a glampreneur here today, Mrs. Tiarra Taylor, and she's going to give us some insight on how she's been able to navigate motherhood and entrepreneurship. Hey, Tiarra.
Hi, Dawn. I'm so excited to be here.
This is amazing. So this is Miss Tiarra. She has 3 beautiful young ladies.
Yes.
Tell me their names again.
They are Taylor, Tyler, and Tori.
Tori! That's the baby.
That's the baby. She's 2.
Oh my gosh, she's so adorable too. All of them are so adorable. So you all have to follow Tiarra to see all of the shenanigans that go on
with motherhood and entrepreneurship.
Yes, and entrepreneurship. So when did you start your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, Dawn, that's a good question. A long time ago. So I want to say almost straight out of college.
Really?
Almost straight out of college. I've always had another business. I was an educator, but I also had another business. You know how like they had the MLMs? Have y'all did multi-level marketing?
Ain't nobody doing that. You did MLMs?
Of course.
Oh no.
I did all of them and I was very successful. My degree was in business, so I was like, oh, I can market some stuff. So I think I did that right out of college, always having another job to supplement income. And so I've been an entrepreneur pretty much 25 years now.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
What's your current business?
Ooh, so I have multiple businesses. So the main one that's anchored is my coaching business, right? And so I always believe that everybody should have like one staple, right? That you can branch off. So I was an educator for 18 years, right? In the school building. And from there, I was able to pivot and have a thriving coaching business.
Yes.
Where I get to coach women, how to step out of their comfort zone and start really choosing a life that they desire and they deserve.
That's amazing.
Right?
That's amazing.
Because so many times when we become a mom, we kind of put our dreams on hold for our children.
Yes.
And we're unfulfilled. We feel stuck. We feel worn out. We feel overwhelmed. We don't have our joy. And so I really want to help women get their joy back.
Yes.
Get their passion back and move towards their purpose. So that is my anchor business. And from there, I'm able to still educate, empower, and equip people to walk in their purpose.
Perfect balance.
Perfect balance, right?
Yes.
And from there, I'm able to do my real estate.
Yes.
Which is still another part of educating and equipping people to build assets and to accumulate wealth and generational wealth. And then from there, I have my speaking engagements. So like all of those are different businesses. So coaching, real estate, speaking, and I'm an author. So I wrote my first book.
Oh yes, congratulations.
What's amazing about that is it's all under the same umbrella.
It is.
It's really pretty much all education.
It is Yes. and I think that's one of the parts that I try to teach my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all have a skill set, and sometimes the name like intimidates them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you have so much skill, even in the beauty industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've been in the beauty industry for forever. Yes?
30
years?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so all those skills and things that you've learned, from customer management to running the business to all of the things, those are the same skills that you can take and you can package together and sell it as a consultant and teach other people how to do it. And I think that that's the one thing that moms forget, is that you have so many skills. Just even if you're a full-time mom, that's like a business.
It really is a
right.
business.
That's like an everyday, like managing all the schedules and
that whole lifestyle of motherhood.
Yes, it's like a project manager. So you can you can package all those skills together, and you can consult with other businesses 100%. And other companies. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think that women should do. When you talked about moms, it's like making sure that you're using all of your skills and all your talents.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like you had the kind of perfect combination of multi-level marketing, because I find there's so many people who start out in multi-level marketing that they really find their passion for educating other people. One thing that I can't get it today. What's going on?
MLM.
Okay, I like it. MLM. Really, I'm seeing so many people having success, especially online, who have started off in marketing. MLM. Yeah. I don't know why that is becoming a tongue twister for me today.
And I think that that's because it allows you to build community.
Yes.
Right? And if you have a good product, it allows you to go back out and share information, because in essence you want to help your community in whatever aspect it is.
That's a good point, because I think with MLMs, a lot of people do deter from them, but it does teach you how to stand up and speak and how to sell a particular product to people who may not be interested. And a big part of business is being able to communicate something to your target market. So whatever that is. So that's a good start.
Yes.
I don't personally like that.
I know. Most people don't, but you know what else it does, Dawn? It helps you it helps you overcome rejection, which is the biggest thing as a business owner you're going to have to be able to do. Like you're going to have to get through all these people saying no. It builds your skin until you get to that yes.
Yeah. And if you're in sales, which being an entrepreneur is always some level of sales, you are going to be faced with rejection.
You are.
And you definitely have to face that. Now, you quit your 9 to 5. So you were a school teacher. Were you middle school?
I was elementary.
Elementary school. So you left the babies.
I left the babies.
So you quit your 9 to 5 to pursue entrepreneurship full time. Now that's scary for a lot of people.
Yes, it was.
So tell me some of the.
Yes, it was.
I'd like to know some of the pitfalls you may have faced by doing that. Was it smooth sailing? Did you have any adversity there?
Well, anytime you have to step out of your comfort zone, there's going to be some sort of fear, right? And so oftentimes we are afraid of a couple of things. We're afraid of failing. We're afraid of starting over, and we're afraid of what other people would think. And when I transitioned from my good paying 9 to 5 job with 2 kids, and then was saying during the pandemic, it was so much uncertainty.
Yes.
And so I had to tap into God and say, listen, Tiarra, God is going to be your provider no matter what. And so if you have that mindset, then you look at things differently. Yes. Because I was so afraid, because it's like, but what happened if I don't sell no houses?
Right.
Yeah. How am I going to pay for?
that's real.
My mortgage and the kids' school and all of those different things, which I think we're afraid of. But that's where planning has to go in place. I would never tell anyone to leave their job without having a real plan. And I think that's one thing the entrepreneurs do. Sometimes they have all these dreams and stuff, but they have not figured out a legitimate plan with smart goals of how they are going to go about accomplishing their goal. And then if that doesn't work, if there's no money coming in, how are you going to finance it? And I think that was important for me, that once I put all those things in place, then I felt more comfortable stepping out on faith, right? Because we say faith without works is dead. So you can't just be like, oh, I got faith. No. You got to make sure you have some things in place with that faith. And then once I had all those things together, it just made me feel more comfortable to step out, but it was still scary.
Yeah.
Because, you know, having that money that comes in every 2 weeks, and then
it's gone.
And then it's gone. Yeah. And now it's only you.
And you have mouths to feed.
And I had mouths to feed.
Yeah.
And people think that being an entrepreneur is so easy.
What?
Right? But it's so much harder being an entrepreneur than going to work for somebody else. Because when you work for somebody else, they pretty much tell you kind of what to do. They give you the game plan. You go, you clock in, you do what they tell you, and then you clock out. When it's you have to figure everything out. All the goods and the bads, people. And if you have employees, they're looking to you.
And you're paying their bills.
And you're paying their bills,
Definitely,
right?
Yeah.
So it really costs to be the boss. I would really want people to know that, like, it costs not just the money, but it costs with accountability.
Yeah.
Like, you have to motivate yourself when you don't feel like going.
Right.
You don't feel like you lost money. You know, in real estate, you can invest in a project and not make no money and lose money.
Yes.
And we're not talking about a little bit of money.
A lot.
We talk
like
about
tens of thousands
of dollars, right? And so how do you pick yourself back up once that happens? Because you are the entrepreneur.
Yes.
Right. So this is Miss Tiarra Taylor, the Demolition Diva. We left that title off. The Demolition Diva. So she does rehabs, investment properties, things like that.
I'm a licensed real estate agent, so I do both sides of it.
Yeah.
So that, and then when they gave me the name Demolition Diva, and I know we were talking about you being in a mastermind. So I got that name from my mastermind. I didn't make it up my own. I didn't start calling myself the Demolition Diva.
Oh, I thought you made that up.
No, I did not. Listen, Joanne will make sure she wants her credit. She told me, I made that name up for you, and you did, Joanne. So basically, they gave me that name because they said whenever I showed up to the construction sites, I was always dressed to the nine. And I took that name, Demolition Diva, as someone who comes and transforms the atmosphere.
Yes.
No matter where I'm at, I come and I make the place better.
That's true.
Yeah.
About you.
Is that
That's
true?
you for real. You transform an atmosphere in every room that you walk in. Like you walk into a room and there's always a presence.
I love that.
It is.
I'm
Every
grateful.
time, ever since I've known you.
I'm grateful
You've
for
always been that way.
It's truly a gift. It's a gift.
That
You know,
is.
everybody doesn't have it. And so I realize you've also coined this name when it comes to actual coaching women as well.
I did.
So you take women who I guess have almost demoed themselves.
Or who need to demo themselves,
Okay.
right? So I really focus on women who are just like me, who were successful in their career, but they just wanted more.
Okay.
Right? Because every time you change, it's not because you necessarily hate what you do. You just feel like there's another level that you want to get to, and you're not there yet. So what I do is I help them demolish all of the negative thoughts, the negative habits that they have, so they can see a clear path to get to where they want to go.
Wow, that's
That is
amazing. Amazing.
And how's that been going?
It's been going well.
Yeah.
I love it. Before, you know, you mentioned I work with little kitties, and they are full of energy, right? Love them. They're so honest. They'll tell you anything. But being able to speak to moms, to women who've been through some stuff is a different type of experience, right? Yeah. And we all know that moms are like the glue that holds everything together. And so when the moms aren't feeling good, when they don't feel their best, then they're not able to pour back into their children, into their families, into their careers and jobs. So it gives me great joy to get the moms back excited and thrilled to go to their next level.
That's amazing. And very much needed. I mean, working with women myself, I hear the stories. I'm not equipped to help them in the way that you do, but you hear the stories all the time. So it's amazing that you're giving them hope and finding a way to get back to who they really are, because becoming a mom does have its challenges and will definitely take you through some soul searching, for real.
It will.
Yeah.
It will. So you had mentioned that you were in a mastermind.
Yes.
So can you tell me, or can you share with us maybe like one or two things that you've taken away from this mastermind? Because you know, masterminds cost money.
They do.
Right?
Yeah.
And so oftentimes, you had to throw that in there, lots of money?
Yeah, I had to.
Okay, because it does, right? When I first started my first mastermind, it was Fortune Builders. Are y'all familiar with Fortune Builders?
Yes.
I spent
I already know what you spent.
I spent almost $50,000.
I know. Fortune Builders is not to be played with.
Listen, for knowledge, it was like the equivalent of me having another bachelor's degree in money, right? And sometimes people want you to give them all the stuff for free.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, oh, well, can you tell me how to do that? So you're learning a lot of stuff because you mentioned the different stuff in your mastermind.
Yes.
But can you share like something that you've learned that you took away?
I mean, the reason I did the mastermind is for the reason that you're saying. I've been in the beauty industry literally 37 years. So starting this podcast journey, I felt like it was important that I educate myself on what I'm doing.
Okay.
Have been coined a kind of a perfectionist from time to time. So I do feel the need to get it right.
Yep.
It's always important to me that whatever product I'm putting out there, that people receive it and they receive it in the way that I want to put it out there. And I want to deliver a great product.
Okay.
So I think that is important. What I learned is really almost what you're saying, taking away some of the things of beauty, because it's totally different when we're up here on camera. I'm generally talking to the back of someone's head on a daily basis.
Yep.
And mostly listening more than talking. I've learned the right questions to ask, but now I have to dig deep and get in your business and ask all of the questions. Right. From a different standpoint. You know what I mean? It's part of what we do, but I let them talk more than I ask.
Okay.
Now, pivoting to ask the questions and learning how to do it.
Okay. So you think it's worth it?
I do think it's worth it. I always think it's worth it to educate yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Because I always say this, like you're either going to learn from mentors or mistakes.
Yes.
Right. So you can either pay and get a mentor, or you're going to learn. It's still going to be costly, but it may cost your time. Right. So instead of just going there, letting them give you the blueprint because they've already been there, done that. That's the same, like even in the beauty industry, when someone comes in as a new stylist, they may think they know everything, right? They went to YouTube University. They feel like they can cut, they can do this because they don't want to hire you to be their mentor or whatever. But it's going to cost them in the long run, right? Because they're going to mess with somebody's hair. They're going to ruin their reputation, all of those things. So it's important to tap in with other people that have been where you're going because it helps you get there quicker and faster.
So do you find it difficult to get women to buy into what you do?
I don't. I think that once we do our initial call, I normally do a call with them. It takes about 30 minutes and we address, like, they're coming to me because they have something that they want to fix.
Yes.
They got a problem. And I feel like as an entrepreneur, the main thing is, do you have a solution to the person's problem?
Yes.
And if you have a solution to their problem, then they want to get fixed, in essence. So I haven't had any problems with getting clients. It is just women's fear of, number one, sometimes they were like, oh, I have to ask my husband or something. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes we're asking people permission for stuff in our life that we should be asking ourselves permission for, right? Because they're not able to fix you.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say, like, if you're really sick, are you going to go to the doctor or are you going to keep asking your spouse, your friends or whatever to fix you when you know they're not equipped to fix you?
Yeah, I guess when it comes to those money issues in a marriage.
It does.
You gotta ask.
Right, you
Big
do.
Daddy.
Right, big daddy. Right, and that is a discussion, but I think that sometimes it's important to let them know, like, this is your life, and when you actually are walking in your purpose, you're going to be able to show up better for your husband, for your children, and for everybody that you come in contact with. And I think that sometimes we forget that. Like, you've been in a depressive state and you're like a zombie, like you're just going through the motions, but you're not operating in your zone of genius. And so you're not really happy. And people can tell.
Yeah, I think that kind of leads to whether it makes sense to be in a relationship or marriage when you are pursuing your purpose. Because I do think that it gets a little, like, it's hard to compromise. Sometimes it's better to stay in a place of being single.
Okay.
If you're pursuing that, if you're pursuing big dreams, because I do believe that if you take on the role of a wife, you are putting some of your desires on the back burner to be a husband to be a wife and a mom. So I just think that's the sacrifice that you make when you choose that, which is why sometimes it's important to just stay single. But society has us believing that you should not stay single. But single is amazing.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I don't completely agree with Dawn.
Okay. I'm curious. I'm curious. I love it.
I mean, I think you have to discuss that with your spouse or your significant other before going into it. I did find it more challenging becoming a mom than I did becoming a wife. I was very clear, and I didn't get married very early.
Okay.
So I was very clear as to who I was as a woman when I stepped in it, and I needed to make sure that he understood who I was before we took this leap together.
Okay.
So I don't think you have to shift when it comes to your spouse. They just have to be clear.
Okay.
I think, unfortunately, when you become a mother, I think it is just this shift that happens over a period of time. You may not even notice it until one day you look in the mirror like, who the hell is this? Right. Yeah, I mean, I've been there. Okay. Looked in the mirror one day and was like, wow, you are really a mom in every sense of the word.
Yes.
Yes.
But do you think that women who have or are still pursuing their purpose should just stay single? If they're not married, like me, okay? I'm not married. I'm still working to build my empire. Would you suggest, because you've been married, that I stay single until I have gotten to a place where I feel like I have reached the place?
That's a loaded question, because it really comes down to knowing the person that you're dealing with.
Okay.
For me, and I'm not married anymore, just put that out there. But for me, when I went into it, I had been an entrepreneur already 10 years.
Okay.
So I was very clear on who I was and what my next steps were, what my dreams were. And I actually shared all of those things with him. And he actually came in and helped me reach some of those dreams and goals. So it was great, you know, I guess until it wasn't, but it was great. Because he saw my vision, my dreams, and wanted to help me pursue them.
So you think it just depends on the person?
I definitely think
right. Depends on who the mate is.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with her on that, because mine was opposite. I was married to someone who did not support those dreams at all. And I went against that and said that. But when you're spiritual, when you're spiritual, you do understand the role of a wife. And that you can't like put that on the shelf because you want to pursue something separately. It's like you choose to say, I'm not going to be this then, instead of putting it on the shelf. And it's interesting that, I mean, because Tanya's not alone, a lot of women put their kids above their spouses, you know, and biblically, that's not the way it's supposed to be technically.
Correct.
So, I mean, you know, that's a loaded conversation right there. But I do think that I find that having a man, a husband, boyfriend, whatever, is a distraction.
Okay.
And I think that if that's your purpose, if you feel like I'm supposed to go here, it is sometimes best to do it alone. However, I think in that journey, or once you get there, there's only a special type of man that will take you on.
Yep.
When you're here.
Yep.
You got all these guys, they don't want this. They want the regular homebody girl.
Yep.
I don't know if I agree with that either.
You never agree with me, it's okay.
Because I do think it's a certain man who's a busy man, a successful man, and doesn't want you calling him all day, or because if you don't have your own things going on, you will be in their ear and like, what time you coming home? And I think it's all in the mate that you choose. I think there's a lot of guys out there who are okay with a powerful woman, or a woman who has their own thing going on.
They're okay with it to a certain extent, Tanya, but they want their woman available when they want their woman available. They don't want you saying, oh no, I have to fly to New York this weekend for this. No, you need to be here.
Then that's not the right person.
That's my whole point I'm making. It's like there are a lot of men now, especially in this new generation, they really want a woman that is going to help them reach their goals. So be there for them mentally, physically, emotionally.
And I probably would agree with that at a different age. But I think where we are today,
which is why it's harder for us to date at this age. It becomes harder. You meet them. It ain't a problem meeting them.
It's not a problem meeting them. It's a problem. Okay.
That next
step. Okay. Because I always think that you
put it only on them. I think it's both ways.
100%.
We get caught in our ways and the way we want things done, and I feel like they do the same.
100%.
We want some of the things that we romanced about in the past, but honestly, that's not who we are today.
Not today.
You know, it's not who we are. It's been a lot that has gone on over the years. from business, from personal, from relationship, all types of things. So you're bringing all of that to the table. So I do think we have to be careful about romanticizing about the things that we wanted at 25, 35.
And it being now.
Yeah,
right.
because that's
It's
not,
different.
yeah, it's definitely different.
It is different. And I think what men want is different. Like, they just want someone who's there.
And I think,
some of them don't want that woman that's climbing the ladder.
but I also think what they're looking for at that age is more fun.
What?
Yeah, because exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
me
because
too.
you've done the raising of the children,
Yes.
you've done the monotony of having these days look the same every single day, that you want some excitement and
Yes.
some, just
Sure.
get out there and enjoy life to its fullest.
Yeah.
I agree with
So
that.
one of the things I think I heard you all say amongst all of that is that in order to be in a relationship, a healthy relationship, you have to know who you are now.
Yes.
Definitely.
Because I think that so many times we are going back to like what we used to want,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's even in career. When I tell my
Yes.
clients, like, yeah, you can start over. You don't have to stay in that same career
Right.
or job that you wanted when you were 18, 19 years old. I'm 43, so at 43, the same thing that I wanted when I was 20, I don't want now.
Yes.
And I think that's the same in relationships. So I think that like you have to get to know yourself.
Mhm.
Date yourself. And
Yeah.
I have, spent the last years dating myself, getting to know what I want, and then knowing what my non-negotiables are, so that when I am approached by a male, that I know off the break whether to kind of like I even want to entertain him or not. Because if he doesn't have the things that I know that are super important to me, we can't go no further.
I think that's important. for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So okay, I got a question for y'all. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Because I am single with 3 kids, and dating while single or as a mom, I'm just now like getting into that, right? And so what tips do y'all have for me? Well, for not just for me, for any woman who is out of a relationship. So me and my last relationship, it was over almost 3 years ago. What tips do you have entering into the dating world with children?
You might want to ask Tanya that, because when I got divorced, my children were teenagers.
Okay. So it was a little different?
Yeah, it was a lot different. And then I would say that dating post 2020 is totally different than dating pre 2020.
Okay.
For some reason, things have shifted.
Okay.
Like the men have gotten really
What have they gotten?
they're very demanding.
Oh, they need a lot of attention?
They want a lot more than what, we grew up where men were very intentional.
Okay.
They met you, they thought you were amazing, they courted you, you were together.
Okay.
Now it's like they want all this stuff.
They want all the stuff.
Yeah,
they want all the wifely things, and they've done
Without the
zero
commitment.
effort. Oh, and without the commitment.
Yeah,
Is that
a lot
partly
of them
on the
want that.
women too, that you kind of like,
I think it's both, for
Okay.
sure. But I think a lot of it is just they are able to get that.
Okay.
So if you put your foot down, it's likely that you just, they are not interested
in you
that.
anymore.
Well, they're not interested in that. But I mean, I don't really have any. It's hard. I have a puppy.
Okay.
He's 5 months old. And I had a guy say they don't like dating women with puppies, dogs.
Why?
I guess the same thing as kids. I don't know. So so I don't know. I would think that it could possibly be challenging.
Okay.
Having 3 children, especially in your 40s, because most of us had our children younger, or except for Tanya.
I'm looking for the answers too.
So most of us had our children younger. So you have to think, when I turned 40, my daughter was in high school. She was a senior.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
different.
Okay.
But dating, you just find someone who has kids. Are you willing to have more? Because you have to. I'm gonna tell you what's interesting. I keep meeting guys who want kids at 50.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like,
That's a non-negotiable for you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. There's no more?
Unless there was a surrogate.
Oh, okay. You would do a surrogate? You would raise another child. You just
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What about you?
I will not, because I'm still raising children.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have the answers to your question because I'm in the same boat as you.
How old are
honestly.
your children?
I have a 21-year-old, 17, and a 13-year-old.
Okay.
And I'm in my 50s.
Okay.
So, and I've just re-entered the dating world myself.
Okay.
So it's definitely challenging. You're just finding it challenging in 40s. I'm in my 50s doing it, and I still have children at home, so I don't have the flexibility to move around.
Okay.
As someone who doesn't.
Right.
I mean, because priority right now, and I listened to what Dawn is saying, I haven't had that experience, but my priority remains my children. And then right now, secondly, my business, after my children.
Yep.
So someone has
I would love to find a new husband. I do want to be married again. I don't know how we got on all this relationship
I'm sorry.
stuff.
I know.
Miss Tiarra.
I know.
She took over the podcast and she started asking us the questions. She said, I know how to handle this. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm going to ask all the questions.
Yes, I would love
So I don't know. I'm in the same boat as you, Tiarra. So I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Answers.
We don't have answers.
Okay.
And
we only have questions.
I've been divorced longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm still single, but I'm not going to just settle.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's no.
You know what I
aspect of our
mean?
life, right?
Yeah. And I know that's taboo right now. Oh, you're getting older. You need to pick something. I'm good.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
I'm not going to
I
settle.
haven't reached that point
Yeah,
yet.
I'm not
Because
settling.
I'm new to this.
Yep.
So, and I'm still, I guess, in my
Having
J-Lo
fun.
era.
Having fun.
Yes.
Hold on,
and
what's
also,
the J-Lo era?
just like,
Being free.
endless romantic. Like, I just
Yes.
always,
It's fun.
I believe in love.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, I'm a hopeless romantic.
Okay.
Even
Me too.
in my 50s, you
Okay.
know? So.
Okay. Well, thanks for answering my question. No, I really wanted to know how to do it because I think we were talking about motherhood and entrepreneurship,
Yes.
and the dating part of it is because that's like the partnership, right? So
Yeah.
that's like a whole nother business.
It
But
is.
that's a whole nother, that takes away a lot of time.
It does.
So I find that dating takes a lot of time.
Okay.
And right now I've chosen not to date. I have projects that I'd rather work on.
Mhm.
And it just takes a lot of time. They want a lot of attention.
Okay.
And to properly nurture a relationship, you do have to be present.
Definitely.
And I'm not really present
Okay.
at the moment.
Okay. And that makes sense.
Well, I would speak to that to say that I really work hard to have balance in my life. Because if I am seeing someone, when I am with them, I want to be 100% present.
100% there.
I do my best,
Yes.
in all my relations. When I'm with my children, I want to be 100%
Yes.
present with them. When I'm here at work, I don't touch my phone. I am 100% present when I'm in this space. So I just feel like wherever my feet are planted in that moment, I am going to be in that moment.
Okay.
And that is hard to balance.
It really-
sometimes.
It takes some work, but
Yeah.
you just have to be bold about it and really honor it.
Yeah.
So setting boundaries.
Definitely, yeah.
So how
People don't always like it, but it is what it is. You won't have success with any of them if you aren't completely present and willing to be open to possibilities in all aspects. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 21 years old. So I've always been, I guess, a dreamer, a doer, because it takes that dream, then you have to do the dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've carried that into, my romantic life as well. I'm a dreamer. The Pisces in me. Yes.
I'm a Pisces too.
Stop it.
Every time you said that, I was like, yes.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yes.
That must be the
I'm
Sagittarius
so-
in me over
Yeah,
here.
you're stop it.
So yes, I mean, I love love, and I am determined to have it again. I do have boundaries. I
Right.
won't
Period.
accept anything,
Yeah.
but I do believe it's out there for me.
I believe it too.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Because
so
my number one
beautiful.
quote is, all I want in life is everything.
Yes.
Mhm.
I want everything.
We all do.
And it's exhausting trying
It
to
is
get to everything. It's exhausting.
That is definitely
Yes.
what I want.
No,
I don't
that's a
want
beautiful
settle.
thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and ask the next question because it's not. And
Okay.
keep in mind, I've been divorced 13 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've dated
Yeah.
for probably 11 of those years.
Okay.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I've done it. It was amazing. It was fun. I had a ball.
Okay.
Dating, but
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love too, but not at the expense of me.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. So
Definitely. Yeah.
that's just where I am. But I mean, like I do, I make it a point to do a lot for myself,
Mhm.
by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I go on trips solo all the time.
Okay.
And I spend a lot of me time. So I'm assuming with children,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to carve out
Mm-hmm.
that time
Mhm.
to focus on just you, to woo-saw, to not have to worry about, mommy, what am I going to eat?
Right.
So what do you do to kind of pull yourself outside of coach mode, realtor mode, mom mode, event planner?
I know all the things, right? So when you say that, Dawn, that's the most difficult part, because not only being a mom to 3 little kids, but being a single mom to 3 little kids, because that means that you are everything.
Everything.
From the time that they wake up, through breakfast, through getting ready, the hair, the drop off, the pick up, the all. So it is kind of difficult to carve out time where I can just spend my me time. But what I do is I wake up before everyone in my house wakes up. Now I'm having to sacrifice my sleep, but on the back end of it, it gives me more peace. So I have to get up, I do my devotion, I do my praise and worship. I take my first 2 hours of my day, just me, before I'm able to pour into anybody else. I gotta be able to pour into myself. So that's what working out. All of those things that fuel me, if that means dancing or whatever the things that I love to do, I do that first thing in the morning. And then I do my power hour. My power hour, I don't know if you've seen it online. I normally go live my power hour to help people. And I'm literally just on there doing my work. I just do nothing but income generating activities for 1 hour in the morning from 6 to 7 o'clock. So that no matter what else happens, I know, right? Because if I wait later, the kids will be up.
And you're
like
distracted.
Yes, I'll be distracted, and then I won't be present for them. Because when they wake up, they're expecting me to be mommy. They don't care about any of that other stuff. You say you gotta work, they could care less about that, right? They want you to listen to them as they sing, as they dance, as they put their clothes on, all those things. So I am very intentional about me waking up sometimes 4:30 in the morning so that I can I'm definitely up by 5. 5 to 7 is my time. My kids know if they wake up early, there is no, you can come and wave to mommy, you can say good morning to mommy, but there is no, that's my time. The first 2 hours of the day, right? Because if you set your day with that for you, then it kind of sets everything else, because you already have all your stuff planned for the day. I already have my goals, my meetings. I know who I'm going to talk to. So that kind of helps me focus.
So you have to be highly organized.
Yes.
What do you use?
So I created a whole journal.
Did you really?
Yes. I have a productivity planner.
Awesome.
It's a time blocking journal to help you time block your day.
Listen,
because I realized that people really need it. That was my biggest struggle becoming an entrepreneur. It's like, okay, people think that because you're an entrepreneur, like you're not really working. Like they feel like they can just call you all the time.
Let's go to lunch, girl.
Let's just go hang out. And it's like, no, if I don't work, I don't eat. So I had to make sure that I put boundaries on even the times that I can talk on the phone, even to my mom. Because you know my mom, Dawn. She's very much like me. Yes, but she's a social butterfly.
Yes.
And she will keep you on the phone. I'm like, Mom, we've been on the phone 2 hours. And we're not talking about nothing that's making us money.
Right.
So we have to do this after my work hours.
Right.
So I think that having that time blocking journal, having productivity planners of saying what I'm going to do in blocking my time out allows me to be.
Yeah, that was one of my questions was if you time block.
I'm the queen of time blocking.
Yeah, it's important.
And my kids be mad. They get home.
Because it's no spontaneity.
Well, I try to, but I'm like, nope. This is mommy's this time. And they'll know and they'll tell you. They'll be like, oh, no, this is mommy's whatever time. If it's my workout time, I'm like, no, this is my workout time. So yeah, having schedules is really, really important. Creating boundaries for myself, for my friends, for everyone has helped me to release and decrease stress. Because otherwise I'll be super overwhelmed trying to manage all of the stuff.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because it's And this is like an ongoing topic that me and my friends talk about. Okay. Is should you do one thing or multiple things? So you're a coach. You're a perfect person to ask this.
Okay.
But as an entrepreneur, you know, people sometimes confuse having 7 streams of income with having 7 jobs. Mm-hmm. Okay. When it technically should be passive income streams versus physically working. Mm-hmm. But there's a book, I think Garrett Keller. Okay. It's called The One Thing.
Yep.
And in the book, he talks about picking one thing that you do, and you do that until you're utterly successful, right? So do you believe that it's important to focus on one thing, or...
Okay, this is a good question. My clients often ask me this.
Really?
And yes, they're like, should I just focus on one thing? And I think that was one of my first questions when I hired my first business coach. And it was, I think that you should focus on your one thing until you get to a certain goal. Now, I don't know what he meant with highly successful and what that looks like, because everybody's measure of success is different, right? Yes. But once you feel like you can effectively take on something else and the other one is making money, then I think you could add stuff to your plate. But if adding this stuff allows this income to go away or allows you to not be effective or affects your clientele or whatever, then I think that you should wait. I think that we all have multiple talents, multiple gifts, but it doesn't mean that you have to do everything at the same time.
Yeah. And as entrepreneurs, we always got a bright idea.
We always have.
All the time. You got to know when to say, I ain't going to do that right now.
Right. Like, that's an idea, but that's for 2 years from now.
Yeah, not right now.
And I have to do that. And I have to do that. Like, even when you said event plan, you threw that in there, right? No, because I do events, right? And I did events. And I had to tell my clientele, like, I only do specific events now. Because I don't have time to do all the things. Like, I just did an event last night. But it's like for my best friends, like within my little tribe, when they need something, I'll do it. But I don't take on a whole lot of
clients.
I don't take on a whole lot of clients. So I do think that we all have a lot of gifts, but it's really, really important to know what season you're in.
Now that's ideal. Knowing the season, that is for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I'm telling people that a lot. You need to focus. Like it's a dying.
It's like
there's so many things coming at people all the time, and they're all over the place.
Yep.
Like you said, as an entrepreneur, that's kind of in us.
Yeah.
But like if you look at my television now, I have about 5 stickies, the 2-year, the 4-year, like things that I want to get accomplished, even still at this age, that I still want to achieve. You know what I mean? I guess I've been doing this for myself for so long. It feels like that's just part of who I am. As long as I'm breathing, I'm going to be trying something new. I have always, most of the things that I have done have surrounded beauty, because that is the one thing that I have focused on, and I mastered. Yes, that is my one thing. But I've sold candles, body butters, hair products, all of the things that kind of support my one thing. You know what I mean? So I definitely think there are avenues out there to find multiple streams of income. But when I try to step outside of beauty, that's when I get a little bit in disarray, because it becomes this part of, and I'm experiencing a little bit with the podcasting, because it's something I'm having to learn. And I want to completely be present, as I spoke about, when I am taking on something new. So it has not impacted my one thing, praise God, but some of the other projects that I have, I feel like it has, because I've had to focus on learning the new thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And honestly, I'm transitioning. And like, I've been dual career for a while. I think that's the most stressful thing ever. I don't particularly like it, but like once I decided to say I'm just going to focus on one thing, there are several things under that one thing.
Right.
You know
what's
what
your
I mean?
one thing now?
It's real estate.
Yeah,
but there's so many different pieces to real estate, as you know. It's not just sales. You know, my goal is to be a developer. And that alone is a big goal. But everything I do is in real estate leading to that goal, where before I felt like, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this to fund my goal. But then I just said, you know what? No, I'm going to just stay in real estate, and I'm gonna do everything in real estate to fund that goal, because you know, getting to 7 and 8 figures is easier when you're walking the straight and narrow.
Right.
Yep.
Not
all over the place.
Zigzagging all over.
Exactly.
zigging all over the place.
Yep.
Not to mention when you start thinking about, networking and who your network is, it's like you got some hairdressers over here, you got some finance people over here. Let me just stay right here.
Right.
I mean, I'd rather just stay completely focused on the direction that I'm going to go in. And it's opened up my mind to see things bigger than what I saw them before. When you start meeting certain people, like I met a guy, he's an economist, and we were just talking about real estate. And he said, you really should enter the fintech space.
Did you know what fintech was?
Yes, I knew what it was, only because I trade stocks.
Okay.
So because of that, that's why I knew. But I never thought about it in terms of real estate. So, he knows that I'm working on opening a brokerage. He said you need to make it tech forward and you need to focus on fintech. But you have to have those people in your space.
Hey,
Yeah.
right.
A hairdresser wouldn't have told me that.
No.
You
No.
follow?
No.
So that was the importance of like networking, right?
Yes. You see what I mean? But it's like you have to be focused on that.
Yeah.
So like the events I go to are different now.
Yep.
My good girlfriend to tell you, I ain't going every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. She'll invite me places and I'm like,
Mm-mm.
who gonna be there?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I need to be in a very particular room.
Yeah.
If I'm going to get dressed and put it together,
Yep.
I want to be in a particular space.
Yep.
So, not to mention, who knows? I might run for public office one day. Who knows? I need to make sure.
Yeah. No, really, because your network is your net worth, right?
It is.
I mean,
It definitely
sound
is.
like
Yeah.
you be a public psycho.
I know, and I know that. Let's not talk about. Yes.
I'm just saying,
No, you have to be mindful who you surround yourself with.
Definitely.
Right? And
That
Yeah.
actually would be great in that space.
in public office. Okay, but not now. Yes, but not now. Let's put that on a couple years later.
I think you would be great.
I always thought about that.
You
I gotta go
really
get my
would.
doctorate degree because
You
that's on
would.
my to-do list.
Yeah.
I think you would be amazing.
Okay, what do you think, Tanya? What do you think?
I definitely think so. You definitely know how to bring people in. So.
Okay, I'm
That's
excited.
what it's about.
I mean, but you never know what your future holds.
You know
So,
what?
And you like to help people. So
I
a combination
do.
of the two.
I
Yeah.
do. You know what? So sometimes my clients ask me, how do I know what type of business
Mhm.
I should open up?
Yes.
And what you did was really, really important.
Mhm.
I always say you need to ask your closest circle
Mhm.
what they think you're good at.
Mhm.
Because sometimes you don't see all of the
The
things
things
that
that-
you're
right.
great at. And then when you all just said that, I was like, oh, that could be confirmation. Like you sit there, you write down a list and you pray on it, and then God will bring those people to you to say, yes, these are the things that you should focus on.
Yes.
So
for sure.
yeah. So did y'all do that? Like, how did you know beauty was like?
I fell
The
into
it thing.
beauty. Don't ask me. That's Tanya's
Tanya, how
question.
you know that beauty?
I
was
honestly,
like,
they
yeah.
say that. I fell into it as well.
Okay.
I mean, I literally was buying some time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I heard
my
the
mom
story.
was like, you're not going to lay, after I graduated, you're not going to lay around here. You didn't want to go to school. You're going to do something. So I went to hair school to buy some time. And then as soon as I got in the salon, I just became a busy stylist right away.
Okay.
And 2 years later, I opened my first salon. So at 21.
Mhm.
So I just have literally studied it because once again, here I go. Once I lean into something, I'm going to try to get everything that I can get out of it, So, and I do love it. So I fell into it, but I found my passion for it as well. I don't even know if I was thinking about what my passion was. I was so young.
Right.
I just wanted to party and have a good time. And my mother's like, hey, put these brakes on because you need to do something else. And 10 salons later and several products and several different states, here I am.
Okay.
Still loving it. I'm getting to the point, though, where I am ready for my next.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Is
I think I will always be in salon ownership because I have mentored hundreds of stylists over the years, probably thousands now that I think about it, over the years. And I need to do it from a digital platform as opposed to in-house.
Mhm.
So that's what kind of brings us to the podcast and
Okay.
coaching and mentoring and all the things
Okay.
to reach a larger audience as
Okay.
opposed to the 20 stylists that work in this
Mhm.
space.
So what I hear you saying is you are going to open up a platform where you can mentor women online,
Mhm.
like another coaching program.
Yes, definitely.
Oh,
Yep.
wow, that's exciting.
And I find, in the beauty industry, there are a lot of single mothers
Okay.
or a lot of young ladies that are balancing running their beauty business and they have small children. So what advice could you give them as to how they can better navigate, the hours, the time, building their business and being able to be completely present? I know a lot of women who had children back when we were coming up, and they weren't able to be there fully for their children because they were in the salon. And I know no one wants that. No one wants to be a part-time mom.
Yep.
So, what would you say, what would be the best way to balance the two if you're in the beauty industry?
In the beauty industry or any industry?
Well, you could say any industry, but we're talking beauty.
We're talking beauty? Okay. Well, I think the first thing I would say is that you have to write a plan, right? You have to have a plan because proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Yes.
Okay.
I never say piss, but I remember my college professor told me that. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Yes.
And you have to have a plan. It's not a flyby. You're not going to be successful if you're just coming up with it as you go. So
That's
number
true.
one, having a plan, right? But before you have the plan, it has to have a goal. So first I would say, come up, what is your goal? And attach a why to your goal. And if your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not strong enough.
Wow.
That why and why you want to get to this goal should make you literally cry every time, because you're going to need that for the resilience when things don't go the way that you want it to go. Because it's not going to go the way that you want. We all know that, right?
Yes.
In every career, in every industry, it's not going to go the way that we planned.
Definitely.
Therefore, we have to know our true why. Why are we doing this? Is it so that our kids can go to college? Is it so, whatever your stuff is, it has to be strong enough so that you can get yourself up in the morning, even when you don't feel like it, even when you lost money, even when somebody cursed you out, whatever they did, it's still going to motivate you to get up. So number one, goal attached with the why. Then what is your plan? SMART goals, something that's specific, measurable, attainable, like realistic, and something that you can go back and you can track and check off. That's important. And one of the other things I would tell moms is you can always change the plan, but the goal stays the same. You may have to pivot. Like it might, whatever you thought was going to happen in a year or something, you might have to change all the stuff, but the goal has to stay the same. And like you talked about, like different stuff, different avenues, you might have to zig a little bit and zag a little bit, but you know that that's the goal. So as long as you're zigging and zagging towards the goal, that's the win. And as a mom, you really just want to give yourself grace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think we're the hardest on ourselves, right? Because although my kids, they want me, but I think have more pressure on myself of how I want to show up for them.
Definitely, yes.
Than what they really, because they're little, they never lived before, they don't know what that looks like, right? And I think that sometimes we carry on maybe what our parents did or didn't do, and we're trying to show up better for our children. But I think it's like, give yourself some grace and then keep pressing forward.
Yes.
Like you can fail, but fail forward. And then stop listening to people who haven't been where you're trying to go.
Definitely.
Because people will give you all types of people, your friends and stuff, they'll tell you, oh, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't. But they still complain about their same job.
What you do?
They not doing nothing, right? And they will encourage you not to invest in mentorship, not to go take this class. They will encourage you to stay at your level because that's the level that they're on. Or they don't want you to level up past them. And so I think that it's really important that you invest in yourself, invest in your business, figure out your niche, and get you a tribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your tribe is not necessarily your friends. That's the part, right?
Yeah.
Friends.
Most of the time they are not.
You
know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
because your tribe is the people that God put here to help you reach your goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not your friends. Your friends will keep you in that space and y'all can chit chat and stuff.
Yeah.
But when it's time to get to the money and get to the purpose,
We're going over here.
you're going to your tribe. So you got to be praying that God connects you with the right people.
Yeah.
I think,
definitely.
and I think that's what I would tell all entrepreneurs. And sit under somebody's leadership. I'm a coach, but I'm also have a coach.
Yeah.
Right? And so I believe everyone should be sitting under someone, and then everyone should have somebody sitting under them.
Yeah.
If you're at a certain level, anybody, if you're out of high school, there's some knowledge that you have that you can pass down to somebody else. So take the time to pour back into other people as people are pouring into you.
That's excellent.
Did you like that?
Yeah, excellent advice. Yes.
That was good.
That is excellent advice. And no, even specifically for beauty professionals, because a lot of them are stuck and they don't believe they need anyone.
Yeah.
That's why the suites flourish so much. They come out of hair school, they go into these little boxes, and they don't have anyone around them, and then they wonder why they don't grow.
Right.
You know, but that's a big reason why. So that's really important advice.
Because community is
it's like community is important, and I really wish that the salons like this would come back where it's a little bit more open.
Right.
Because everyone's now in these little boxes. Hate to call them boxes.
But I mean, that's what they are. I always call them salon flea markets.
But I
because it's like everybody is doing their own thing.
Yeah.
They're not working towards a common goal. And that's one thing, even when I did this last project, people were looking at me like, still? And I was like, I just won't let it die. I know how important it is to our community. And I know what these younger stylists need. I mean, I've been there, you know what I mean? And you can't get caught up in the money because the money can be good, but it gets to that plateau real quick because you're a human being. You can only do but so many people in a day. Yeah. So you definitely have to find other avenues within your one thing. Yes, definitely.
Definitely, for sure.
And this salon is amazing. This is the first time I've been here, but this is like the best of both worlds. Yeah, because this has like community out here, but you also still have suites that people can kind of go in.
But we definitely wanted to have some veterans, and most veterans, you know, are there in that suite space. But we tried to create it with the glass door so they feel a part of the salon too, because a lot of people are forced to be in the suites, but they really miss the salon environment. You know what I mean?
Miss it.
Yes.
I was about to say
so it gives them that sense of community. You see people talking and chit-chatting under the dryer. They're in here the same time every week. I mean, over the years, I've had marriages happen out of our salons because I've had barbers and stylists, friendships that have flourished because they were at the same space every week at the same time.
Yeah.
And just started going to dinner and became friends and started helping each other out in whatever the projects they had going on. So I definitely believe in it. It's been a cornerstone of our community since Madam C.J. Walker.
For sure.
So, and she was able to become a millionaire in the 20s.
Right.
And
that just shows you what our business. Yes. Right. So what our business is able to achieve if they focus on the one thing.
On their one thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So everyone needs to go out and get the book.
The one thing.
The one thing. But there's another book that you should get.
Yes. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. It's called Girl, Get Your Glam Back.
Okay.
Glam Back.
Tell us about it.
Okay, 3 steps to renovate your life and avoid looking like what you've been through. Yes. So check this out.
So we all need it.
Yes. Yes. I have a copy for both of you. But look, so this book came out of renovating my life.
Yes.
And so, you know, being in the real estate industry, being an educator, you know, I'm always good for a good analogy. So this book is really using the principles of real estate to renovate your life.
Oh, wow.
So you know how like in real estate, one of the first things we tell you to do is to go get an inspection, right? If you want to go buy some property, you have to go get an inspection. The first thing you want to do when you decide that you don't like whatever part of your life, you have to inspect it. Yes. And you have to figure out like what are the good things that you want to keep and what are some of the things that you need to get rid of. Yes. And that's the same thing with buying a home, right? When they're like, okay, I want to knock down that wall, but oh, that's a low bearing wall. We can't do that.
Yeah.
But this is what we can do to open up the space. Same thing. So I'll walk you through from start to finish how to renovate your life.
That is amazing.
It is.
Thank
I love
you.
the analogy as well.
I love it. Amazing. So this is Girl Get Your Glam Back. And
where can they find that?
They can find this on my website and it's on girlgetyourglamback.com. Okay. But it's also on my Instagram, Tiarra Taylor _demolition diva. And the glam stands for God-centered, legacy-focused, ambitious mom.
Oh, we love
Yay.
that.
And I have something for you guys. Okay, this is for you. And this is for you.
This is so Tiarra.
This is so Tiarra on my glam.
This is so
You got that, but also
Tiarra.
I got your book, but then also I have a shirt for you, so I'm gonna let you decide. This is the Glampreneur shirt, which is, you know, y'all are all into the hair care industry, so that's glam. So looking good while being an entrepreneur, making sure you're keeping God God-centered first.
Yes.
Too cute.
That is cute. I
Yay!
love it.
Love
Yeah,
it.
get you to come back and do a book signing as well as sell your books here at the
please.
salon.
Yes.
There's
I love
plenty
it.
of women who can use this.
Oh,
deal.
I would
for sure.
love.
We do pop-ups on Saturday, so it would be great to
I
have
would
you
love
here.
to be here.
T-shirts, books, the whole shebang.
The whole
Yes.
shebang.
Yes.
So thank
That
you
is
so much for
right.
having
Been
me.
amazing.
All right.
I did have one more question, but
Okay.
no, we're fine.
Okay.
All right.
I heard you say the GLAM stands for.
God-centered, legacy-focused, ambitious mom.
So what's your legacy? What do you want your legacy?
Oh, I want my legacy to be glam. I want my legacy to be that I listened to what God told me to do. That I impacted any and everybody that I came in contact with, which is my legacy. My A was ambition, so going after all of my goals and dreams. And M can stand for motherhood or mover and shaker. So I moved and shaped. I used all my gifts and talents to transform the world.
I love it.
It's amazing. I love it. This is Tiarra Taylor. She is the demolition diva, the glampreneur,
Yes.
realtor, event
Author.
planner, author. So we'll have all her information at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to follow her. I'm sure you have a YouTube page as well.
do. It's
So we'll put all that in there.
LinkedIn.
So, thank you, Tiarra.
Thank you
This
so
has
much,
been
ladies, for
completely
having me. And I'm so glad that I can now be an icon. Am I iconic?
Yes,
Yes,
of
you
course.
are iconic. So thank you for joining us. That was another edition of the Icon Theory Podcast.